We need to talk about this Ferrari.
Oh my God, you ruined a good Ferrari, and oh my God, it's horrible looking.
Ferrari, to me. I don't mind. Just send me the paperwork right now. All right, so what's up, everybody? We're here at the Gas Monkey Garage Beer Bar, which is a lot to say, of which I forgot, sir. It's time to have a thirsty.
This is our Wednesday ritual.
It has become kind of a ritual. You know, for those of you that don't know, John Clay, Wolfe here has not only a show on Saturdays across the nation, but he does move and buy and sell a shit ton of cars. And he does a big sale at Mannheim down here where it's like a command center, dude. It's like you're the Star Trek command center and you got all these screens everywhere and you got sales going on all over the nation. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you keep up with it.
I don't do cocaine.
Oh yeah, I know, right? That's probably good for your situation because mixing drugs and trying to make and or not lose money usually doesn't work out for those people. But anyway, so we do this every Wednesday and we come up here and shoot shit and talk about what's going on. How did the sale look today? How many cars did you sell?
I think about 700.
Wow.
But the spring market, what's today's date? February 26th, 7th, something like that. So that spring market hits right around now. Last Thursday, the tax return money was hitting the street. My dealers around the country that are friends of mine were like, hey man, it's happening, it's happening. So that tax return money came in and what they're seeing is $1,500 in people's pockets.
Okay.
And that stimulates the used car market for the spring. March is always our best month of the year.
Really?
Yep. And I felt it today. And my buddy Bob Hollinshead up in Pennsylvania felt it last Friday. You just see these moves. It's like the Dow Jones or the Standard & Poor's, and it happened today. So we can pay a little more for cars today than we could last week.
But you got to know when to dial that back.
Sure, but we'll be good for a little while because
what
we're
if
just
Trump-
now on the breaking edge of it.
But what if Trump gives everybody $5,000 like they're talking
It'll
about?
go berserker.
It will, won't it?
Mm-hmm. It'll make all the difference in the world. And you're doing this Gas Monkey Buys thing.
Oh, that's gasmonkeybuys.com, by the way. I'm buying cars.
And we're homies, and you're getting a lot of normal cars too, so I wanted to go over some things with you, like what I'm seeing, so that your guys can hit them right. Next to new, like Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Stellantis is the brand name. They're bad. When I say next to new, I mean like 24s and 25s and even some 23s. But these guys that oversupply, Dodge, Chrysler dealers have always been oversupplying their dealers for years. Mm-hmm. And they're back in that mode because they want to build cars and they want to get them on the books because their customer is really the dealer. Dodge builds the cars, they sell them to the dealer. They invoice them, they get paid off the floor plan, and they're not done, but they're done. So they're stuffing dealers again, and it's driving the price down on Dodge trucks and Jeeps and everything else they make. Nissan is the second worst culprit of that. Hyundai is about third. And you've just got to watch these markets. So, like, you know, why are Chevy trucks not dropping as hard as Dodge trucks? Because they're not building as many of them. Why are Ford F450s and 550s bringing over sticker that are brand new?
They don't have enough.
They don't have any of them. So it's just really basic supply-demand stuff. GX 550s, I don't know if you've seen the new ones. And the new Land Cruiser that Toyota came out with.
Oh, okay. No,
so they got the new Land Cruiser, the six-cylinder version, and they got the new Lexus GX 550 that's on a Land Cruiser chassis. And they're kind of the same they're bringing over list.
Really?
But now they're coming down. But we made a fortune trading them over list, buying them for sticker, buying them for a couple grand over sticker, selling them for $6,000 over sticker. And then at the end of these runs, we always get our ass slapped. And it's come back down. I mean, those GX 550s have come down $8,000 in the past 10 days.
Wow.
Because the supply gets up, right? Boop.
Well, what happened to what about the normal, 6, 7-year-old supply?
That's bada.
It's good, huh?
Bada. That's the car you want. That's the car you can lean into. A 2020 Camry, a 2020 Honda. I'm just backing up 5 years. Trucks as not next to new, not 24s and 25s, but 23s and back, they're good. They're juicy. The truck market is hotter than hell. Full-size SUVs.
Well, that's because you can't go out and buy a new truck. I mean, if you're a working guy and you got a 10-year-old truck and you're like, hey, maybe it's time to go get a new one. And you roll in there and they're like, well, that's a sticker on that's $115,000. And it's like, I'm a working guy. I can't buy a $115,000 truck. When I bought this one 10 years ago, it was $50,000.
Right.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
And Chrysler was the worst. Dodge was the worst about jacking the sticker prices during COVID. Mm-hmm. Boom, 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 boom. So like their $60,000 sticker truck in 2021 is now like 90. And so the rebate $5,000 off, rebate $10,000 off. They got to rebate more and more and more to get them back down to what they're supposed to be. They just gouged.
I have two 2014 trucks, and we just decided to go ahead and we're fixing everything, putting in all new lights and cleaning them all up, making them sexy, and I'm just going to try to wean out another 5 years from them.
You might as well.
Because this trucks are just too daggum expensive.
Exotics, we do a lot of exotics at Give Me the VIN. Not gasmonkeybuys.com, but givemethevin.com.
Yeah, I got you.
And
send your exotics to him.
but they weren't as good today. But we didn't. You know, one thing I've learned is when you have more of something, it's opposite of what you would think. Like, oh my God, we got too many Ford trucks, or we got too many Rolls Royces. The more you have in the auction lane of the same product, the more the dealers are going to congregate to it. You're going to get everybody. But I had one McLaren and 10 Porsches and 2 Ferraris, and one of the Ferraris was wrapped. And like, I was looking at that wrapped Ferrari and I was like, just forget it. Just unwrap the bitch. I missed it. I hate no-selling cars. But I was like, for $10,000 spread, we can unwrap it, show the Rosa Corsa red, instead of this crazy-ass, splatty-ass paint job, or wrap job.
Yeah, I get it. I hate wraps.
So you got to undo them a lot of times. And people are scared to death of what's under them. Because why do you wrap a car sometimes?
Sometimes you're hiding stuff.
Because it's fucked up.
Yeah, it might have had some bad paint work or whatever. I'll tell you, you mentioned Rolls Royce. What cracks me up is I've bought, in my lifetime, probably 7 or 8 brand new Rolls Royces, right off the dealer lot. And one that I like a lot is the Rolls Royce Wraith.
Sure. Big old two-door.
Two-door, 12-cylinder, twin-turbo, big car. And I've had like 4 of those. And I wanted to go get another one and get rid of I have one that's about 4 years old. There is absolutely zero difference in those cars.
They haven't changed them.
Nothing. Not the headlights, not the clock. I mean, hardly anything at all is different. It's the same freaking car as I bought 4 times brand new, and it's $280,000 more dollars.
Right. It's crazy.
$280,000 more dollars for the exact same damn
Now
car.
it's the Spectre, which is their electric, or maybe it's a hybrid. I think it's all.
It's a hybrid electric, weird. It's a good looking car.
It's better looking than the Wraith. They just should have done that Wraith and that.
Yeah.
And I bet they will, because this EV thing's a bunch of bullshit, dude. I mean,
It's cratering, isn't it?
I've been saying it for years. I say it's all hype, and it's going to be illegal to build ICE car, internal combustion engine cars in California. I'm like, yeah, but they're going to change the legislation in California by the time that comes up. It's unmanageable. People don't want them. If you're in a metro and you want to run around in a Tesla, it's cool. But if you're in the country, or like you, I mean, how many miles do you drive a year?
Not a lot anymore. Maybe 10,000.
10, yeah. I'd say anybody over 10,000 doesn't need an electric car. It just doesn't work, especially down here in the South.
No, I thought about getting one of the Hummers, because it's just a big, giant, sexy truck. But I didn't want to jack with getting the charger and getting the things and plugging it in. And if you're not getting enough electricity where you're at, then you get screwed, because it takes forever to charge it. And that's a pain in the rear.
This time of year,
Those trucks have dropped, haven't they, already?
Oh yeah, all that shit's dropped. And I mean, that first Tesla truck we sold for $244,000, we're selling the same truck for $70,000 right now.
Really?
Yep. But what's, this time of year is interesting as sports cars come up. Why do sports cars come up? And this old wholesaler guy gave me his theory about, this time of year he buys a sports car, the 55-year-old guy, and he trades in his Range Rover. And then he meets the chick down at the shore somewhere. Well, this is the guy's in the Northeast, who's talking about the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, right.
Long story short, his story is he gets the car, he gets the babe, he knocks up the babe, and come next fall, she's knocked up, and he's got to switch back to a Rover, and that's why they drop. And that's not exactly what happens, but
It's probably a lot of it.
it's not that far.
He got the hair plugs over the winter. It's all healed up. He can put the top down.
But sports cars really make a rise in spring, and this is the time of year you can lean into sport. When I say lean into, guys, when I'm talking about, if 50 grand's MMR, 50 grand is book, or 50 grand is the marker of some valuation product, you need to be back of that. If they're good, they're over that. If they're bad, they're back that. If they're neutral, they're at that. Sports cars, you can lean into it now, meaning you can go, if 50 grand's the marker we're using hypothetically, you can lean over it because we can get more. But if they're bad, like I'm saying Dodge trucks, MMR's 59 grand, car's going to bring 55, 4 grand back. Oh my God, what happened? No, your lane sucks. Your system sucks. No, you suck because you don't know how to bid shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll tell you, I started the Gas Monkey Buys thing a few weeks ago, and we're trying to buy everything. I want to stay close to my lane and get all the old cars and the classic cars and all that kind of stuff. But I also want to buy new stuff, 2020 and up, or 2015 and up, or whatever, trucks, cars,
Cars
whatever.
that don't need work.
Yeah, but the problem is that I'm almost hearing people want to fight on the other end of the phone because they call me up with a '55 Bel Air, and I'm like, it's worthless. They're like, what? I got this car's $120,000. I said, sir, I'm not going to tell you that your car's not worth what you believe it is. I said, but I'm not a buyer at 35,000 because the market is really turning. People, the older guys, they're getting too old to mess with this stuff.
Right.
And the younger kids, me, I'm 55. I'm kind of the last of the Mohicans that age that wants to play with some of the old stuff. The new guys underneath me, they want what I call rubber bumper cars. Anything from the 80s and 90s, maybe a little bit of the late 70s. And then, of course, muscle cars are always strong if they're the right car. Camaro, Mustangs.
What is it about
whatever.
a '69 Camaro that just won't die?
I don't know,
But
because
they
I've
won't.
never been a fan.
They're better now than they've ever been.
Yeah, I've never been a fan. But also, everybody now wants a full Resto-mod. They
Yeah.
want whatever they're into, if it's Mustang, Camaro, or if it's a 32 Ford, like that one down there. They want disc brakes and air conditioning and comfort and turnkey and fuel injected and all this. And they don't understand what it takes to do that.
How do you get the suspension to ride like a modern car?
Nowadays, it's all bolt-in. You got companies that specialize in anything you're into. If you're into, Chevy C10s, or if you're into Mustangs,
Let's take it.
or whatever.
Let's take a C10.
Yeah.
And you want it to ride like a? Can you get a C10 to ride like a modern truck
Absolutely. I mean, perfect.
without a frame swap?
You can. There's a lot of companies that make bolt-ins front and back.
And walk me through the. So on the front, do you have to cut stuff to get it to go, or does it bolt right in?
A lot of the stuff that's coming out now and has for the last 5 or 6 years is total bolt-in. Rides like a dream. It's on foil.
Bolt-ons?
Yeah, coilovers and ready to rock and roll. It comes with everything you need from the studs, back, the brakes, everything, and you just bolt it in there. And then on a lot of the trucks, especially the short beds, there's a lot of companies that sell just full frames. Like I deal with Speed Tech Performance up in Utah, and they're doing a full frame for my 70 Chevelle we're fixing to build. And
What's the difference in the ride? I see all these guys doing chassis swaps. You do them.
Yeah, I do.
Why? That seems
Because-
like a lot of work.
It's not. Because the second you get the car apart and you have a full chassis there, like the one I've got coming in from Speed Tech, you're putting the car back together.
Right.
You're not cutting, you're not welding. There's no chances of getting your geometry wrong and having your car go down there, go down the road sideways. Everything's just boom. You're going
What's
back together.
better? When you
I
swap-
prefer a full chassis or front and back halves that bolt on, and that's who I prefer to use. Those kind of companies.
I just see everybody doing that. I just wonder what was the old frame bad?
A lot of times. But if you want that ride, you're dealing with your geometry. You're dealing with getting it further up in the car. You're getting bigger wheels, bigger tires, maybe a bigger sidewall for comfort, or however you're going to drive it. And you just have to change all that stuff. I mean, in the old days when we started, we were cutting and whacking frames and raising the floors in a brand new Suburban to try to get it to be further on the ground and what have you. But you don't have to do that stuff anymore.
Well, that Chevelle you're doing, how far, are you taking it? What new chassis? New
Complete
suspension?
new chassis. Every single piece on the car except for the body is going to be brand new.
Well, whose seats do you use?
We're going to probably use a set of Recaros in this one that I've picked out that I think look pretty sexy.
And whose instruments do you use?
It'll be all Holley Performance. It'll be a dashboard, all electronic, just like in a brand new Cadillac.
And if I wanted to buy that, if I took it to a builder and had them do it, how much? If you take
brought
your,
it to
if,
me and
if
you
you
say-
take your car to them, like if you're not having them buy the car, just the rest.
Right now, to do the whole thing, I'm quoting between $350 and $450 plus the cost of the car. It's expensive.
It makes you wonder why General Motors doesn't do a limited run of Chevelles or a limited run of 69s or a limited run of Squares, and just say, hey, we're going to build 10,000 of these or 5,000 of these. Because do you remember when the converters started taking Suburbans and guys like Western Hauler, they kind of started that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And they started putting all the amenities in them. And that's how they built their business. Don Davis and a
I
Regency.
know. Don Davis was doing that way back in the day.
Choo Choo, Southern Comfort, good stuff. And then the factory just slowly took their lead and started putting these things into their
All the
factory
nice stuff.
cars. And it put them out of business. But with these Resto-mods bringing 300,000, 400,000, 800,000 in some cases, I'm just surprised that the factory doesn't do one. But, oh well.
They're having a hard enough time doing what they're doing right now. I mean, all three of the big three are pretty much hurt.
So if General Motors was to do a 2,500 run of the Chevelle and keep the metalwork as close as they could, they'd still put some little stuff on it, but make it just super badass like they do some of these vets, like Zero ones. What would they? I'm not very familiar with the process. Would it be crazy? So expensive?
It'd be really expensive.
Really?
Yeah, because you have to get it into that assembly line process, like my friend Rich Rinke that was in charge of the Copo Camaro program for Chevrolet, which is no more. You know, they had to engineer that car with them to be able to do an assembly line and get them out fast enough, and that's the hard part.
And what is the Copo Camaro program?
It's gone.
But what was it? It's a race car.
Huh?
It's a race car. It's a factory-built race car.
Factory-built race car.
I've got one sitting in my shop.
And it was a way to order anything you want, you know, wild package, bigger motor, different gears, different brakes. You know, you basically were ordering a production race car. And
you and Dennis bought like 10 of them, didn't you?
we bought 60, I think.
How the hell did that happen?
We just called them up, and they said that they were overstocked.
Mm-hmm.
And I may be wrong. It might have been 30, but
Okay.
it was a
Enough.
significant amount.
Right.
And
And you gas monkeyed them?
we did. We gas monkeyed them. What was really cool is, you know, in another 4, 5, 10 years when people go and looking for those cars, just like back in the day when there was people like Baldwin Motion doing the Corvettes and the Shark, whatever that was called, doing, you know, and there was the Sox and Martin doing cars. These will be the gas monkey cars because they came from the factory with gas monkey paperwork. So there's however many of those there are. They say gas monkey on the build sheets.
Where'd y'all, really? Where'd y'all sell them?
Everywhere.
All over the world? Did it make money?
It did.
Like a lot or a little bit?
It made good return. I mean, but I
We're
wouldn't
not
do it
talking
again.
return, dog. We're talking money. Were you like, yeah?
Probably made 25, 30%.
Okay.
You know, it was pretty good.
But it also kind of really was a legacy thing. I mean, that's pretty neat
I think so.
to have, even when you're old and that shit's still out there and a factory built car with your brand on it.
Exactly. I think that's pretty cool, and I'll probably look for one day. I don't even have any left. I think Dennis still has one, and or he's getting another one. He's getting the very last one off the line.
When you were doing your thing and I was doing mine, and I was growing fast, you were growing fast, I was trying to get on TV. It was right when y'all launched. The reason our TV show didn't hit is because yours just came out, and then Dallas Car Sharks came out. And A&E said, man, there's another car show that just hit out of Dallas, and we can't have 3 car shows out of Dallas. It's like, fuck, you know. So, but I was watching y'all a little bit from afar, and I'm giving you a compliment. Here's where this is going. But I remember seeing that Copo thing, and I'm like, that motherfucker. That, because to me, that was like the ultimate validation of what you were working on. That's a, I don't know, that impresses me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, we were talking a second ago about the older cars. My black 32 3-window down there is, I've had that car 15, 16 years. And I said I'd never sell it. And a guy came through the other day, and I said, he goes, well, how much is that? And I said, well, sir, you tell me what you think it's worth.
Right.
And he said, and he owns it. He's coming here. He's coming here in a minute. He's coming here in a minute to pick
You're
it up.
right.
You know, I think he got a good deal, but I also, the market on that's a very niche 1950s build 32 Ford, and
It's dropping.
Those guys are dying.
Is it a secret what it sold for?
I'd rather
mean,
keep it
John,
quiet.
come
He hadn't
on.
even picked it up yet, man.
Well, I mean, this isn't going to air before you get paid.
Well,
What did it
I don't know.
Did it sell for what you see in bringing it sales?
A little bit more.
A little more? But I
Yeah.
mean, auctions are a little bit more. They're 10% more. Sold 50 grand. 55,000 is the paperwork.
I'm telling you, some of these cars that I'm getting in the gasmonkeybuys.com, help me out, guys and gals out there, gasmonkeybuys.com. Don't send me stuff that's sitting in the woods with trees growing out of it. I mean, I think a guy sent me a Corvette the other day that had rust, and they're fiberglass. This thing was a piece of shit. I mean, I said, dude, it looks like if I pick that thing up on a trailer, it's going to just break in half. And You know, so we got to get some quality vehicles
You
coming in.
You're just getting a bunch of junk.
Well, it always happens like that at first, and then people know that there's somewhere to go and get it and what have you. But
Well, you asked us to, because we got those 35 locations around the country, and your audience is worldwide but national, and you've asked us to use our drop locations a couple of times, and I've seen a couple of cars that y'all bought, and they're nice.
maybe I need to do a deal where I like live stream it or something this spring when we got a nice weather day like today, and just go, hey, bring me your 2005 newer anything and drive it up here, and I'm going to be making on the spot bids and cutting checks right there. And I'll cut you an extra $20 for an Uber on the way home. See you later.
I took your advice, and I'm doing that cash giveaway thing in March.
Oh yeah, like my sweepstakes.
Yeah, I'm doing 25,000 to everybody that sells Give Me the VIN a car. That service is gonna draw one name and send them 25,000 on top of their
Oh, super cool.
purchase. We'll see if it works.
It's doing good. We do the sweepstakes right now. We're giving away a Dodge Demon 170, and then next is the month of April. We're going to give away $100,000 in cash to one person, and then the month of May we're giving away that brand new 2025 all-wheel drive. We're putting a Whipple supercharger on it, all kinds of stuff. It'll be like 950 horse. It'll be a low 9-second car, brand new.
What's this garage beer? I mean, so the Kelsey guys are in it with you?
Yeah, Travis and Jason Kelsey. They're in it with me, and it's growing so fast. Just got back last night from Denver. I had to go up there and do a big launch and some big beer fest and everything, and it was crowded.
I mean, it's not.
It's just light beer for guys who like beer. It's not special or better or less. It's just freaking good light beer. That's all the original goal was
It's
to
like
be.
titties.
Yeah, there's not really ever bad titties, is there?
Had a bad set beer.
Man, actually, I don't know. Sturgis can be pretty rough up there. There's some titties you might not want to see.
We're doing that bike rally in Walnut Springs.
That's right.
It May 15th, 17th, 16th, anyway, that week, bike week, and it's coming around.
Oh, I'm gonna come up there with a truckload.
We
of
got to
garage
figure
beer.
this out, and y'all can edit this out or not. But so you and I rented that thing, and we're going to put Gas Monkey on it, and we're going to do the license on it. And then when you and I talked about it the other day, you were kind of
Well, that's because
you're waffling.
No, I'm not waffling. See, the problem is that when me and you get going, you're very fast like I am, and then we're drinking beers.
Right.
Then the next thing you know, you're telling me what we decided to do, or I'm telling you, and neither one of us are like, what? You know, we did what? But no, I'm down for whatever. I just don't want Gas Monkey to take away from what you're trying to build out there.
No, I think the brand Strokers is coming to set up a tent. You'll have your bar there for that week. We'll have our bar.
But you're just handling the bar stuff. We're just
Yeah,
gonna
that
have-
was hard. When I pitched it to you, you said, hey, how about this? You handle all that shit.
I don't want to employ anybody to do anything. I tell you, everybody out there, that the secret to being happy in business is no vendors, no customers, and no employees. If you can get that, you're the man.
So when does the well, and also, but I think you were a little worried about the launch of the new restaurant.
I should be fine. My Gas Monkey Ice House is going to open end of March is what we're aiming for. Worst case scenario, first week in April. And we're already slinging hammers and nails and getting crazy up there. So that'll be open, and then I can swing out there on that Saturday probably.
That's where you should do the car buying thing one day. Is in the parking lot of the new restaurant. It's huge.
Well, we're going to tell
Fucking
everybody.
huge.
Yeah, but it's a bike
It's like
event.
Billy Bob's. No,
It's-
I'm not talking about your place.
Oh, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I get you. I thought you're still on Walnut Springs.
No.
No, up there, I'm trying to bring Cars and Coffee back. And they want me to. The development does. The city kind of wants me to, but it's just the dummies get out there doing burnouts and trying to be badass. You know, just at least get a couple miles away from the venue. You know, you're screwing it up for everybody else out there being an idiot. But, and there's actually enough parking that I've been floating the idea of maybe trying to have the largest single event car show by number of vehicles.
Okay. Willie B, do you know him from Motor Trend? He's up in Denver. He did the world's largest burnout at his car show event about 2 years ago. He got Guinness out there. I forgot the count. But that take a lot of cars, dude.
Well, they got tens of thousands. I mean, maybe
Really?
maybe even more of parking spaces out there. It's massive.
Have you ever done a Guinness thing?
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass.
It is a super huge pain in the ass, and we screwed it up.
Take another one if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. We did me and Johnny Bomber with the Bad GT. We went for the Guinness Book of World Records, and the car got to doing just real good the second time around, and we circled it, serviced it, and got on there, and the timer guy that Guinness set out wasn't ready. So we still did hit 310.8 miles an hour, which
Really?
none of these cars have ever done this.
Where was this?
It was at the Kennedy thing out in
Kennedale?
no, in Florida, where they land the space shuttle.
You took that car to what? How fast?
310.8 miles an hour, street legal, Ford GT, air conditioning, stereo
That's
system.
the black one you've been trying to get me to get Scott still back to you?
No, this is Johnny Bomber's Bad GT. He takes his kids to school in it. So when all these hypercar guys are out there going, well, the math says this car is going to do this much, and they don't, because we're the only ones that have ever done it in a production street car.
Do you know what you put on it to make it do that?
It's been
Everything?
Johnny's been testing and driving that car for 15 years. I mean, it just on and refining it. We're going to make another run. We believe, based on everything that came back during that run, that we can get to 330.
I got to go in a minute, but we need to talk about this Ferrari.
I did find the intercoolers, so
Good.
they'll be here Tuesday, Wednesday next week.
That's good. We'll see how the motor is.
Then we're going to be driving and testing, and we'll see all of that within hopefully a couple of days, and then we'll have a good route. Let's go this way.
Have you decided if you want to clear part of it first and see how that looks before we repaint the whole thing?
We will try that.
Okay.
But I just decided we're not going to do anything until
Until you know what the motor.
we know what we've got.
Right.
Because they took it out and hammered on it, and who knows what happened. So, hey, there's all my steel showing up.
I'll tell you what we're talking about is this 6x6 Ferrari Testarossa. Richard goes over to Ireland or wherever the hell you were, bought
Yeah.
those Testarossas, got them back, sold them, had one left. We decided to make a Ferrari like the Hummer. And we used the builders that built the Hummer to help us do it. And we sent it to Milwaukee, which we weren't going to. The deal was they were going to come here, build it here. We're going to video the whole build. And then the last second, it's like, oh, we got to go back to Milwaukee to do this. It's okay, take it back to Milwaukee. We go up there and look at it. They hadn't done shit. And then we're like, listen, guys, we're fixing to drag it back here. So they start working. We were supposed to make it to SEMA. We were supposed to make it to Barrett. We missed both. We wound up, I'd say getting sideways is a bad term, but we had agreements in our contract of timelines, and they did not hit any.
Missed all of them.
They missed every mark.
Yeah.
Every single mark. So we paid them for their fabrication.
Well,
we got the car back here.
At the end of the day, they built the car, but we don't know what we have, and they took a little too much creative license on what I designed.
Right.
So I'll get it analyzed hopefully by a week.
What about the dash?
We're going to totally dismantle
What are you gonna
that. I don't know.
All right.
But it's going to look a lot better than it does right now.
Right now, it looks like a radio amplifier in the back of a truck.
Yeah,
From
it look-
1988.
yeah, an
Like a
Alpine.
Rockford Fosgate or something.
Fosgate or something like that.
Big old fan.
It also
looks
gives-
it looks like a race car.
It also gives me Camaro Berlinetta feelings or something. I don't know.
But the
it's going
fins,
away.
tick, tick, tick,
I'm
tick.
going to cut that into a trophy for your bookshelf there
Okay.
at the ranch.
So the dash is coming out.
Dash comes out.
The shifter you like.
I do like, in general, I like the car.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little bit of push and pull here and there and get it looking the way it does in the drawings, the way that we designed it.
The wing.
And the wing wasn't on there, which I think really was detrimental.
The diffs are Audi R8, aren't they? Or A8.
I believe so, yes.
And this one, unlike the Hummer, does have four-wheel drive on the
Full
back.
wheel, burnouts, that's what I want to see.
Right.
That will be freaking cool.
So we'll probably have this thing rolling for press in the summer?
No, it won't take that long.
Okay.
No. We'll be light years ahead in even like 3 weeks.
Do we, the Hummer did so good because it was like, when we rolled it out and then the video went nuts and then it went to there was boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
It was like a hit song that got sold while it was #1 on the charts.
Correct.
And there's value to that.
There is value to that because if we
If we blow our wad this summer,
That's what I'm worried about. I think we go back to the other plan maybe and go to SEMA and then go to Barrett because you want that fast hit. Otherwise, a certain number of sissies out there with their keyboard wearing the Gas Monkey shirt in their mom's basement are going to be like, oh my God, you ruined a good Ferrari, and oh my God, it's horrible looking, or oh my God, and it's like,
I think it's one of the baddest ass
I
cars
think
I've
it's
ever
gonna,
seen.
I think it's going to blow people's mind. Now the purists, they're not going to like it. Ferrari, sue me. I don't mind. Just send me the paperwork right now
Right.
and tell me that I can't customize my fucking car. I would love to see how that paperwork looks. But if you want me to buy a 12-cylinder Ari, one of the new convertibles, I will gladly do that today. I can wire the money. Just send me the invoice. But
I think this car's gonna make the Hummer look silly.
I don't think so. They're two different things.
I know it, but the attention, the excitement that Hummer brought, this car done right is better than that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be cool. But that's what I know. Why did you have to go? You usually stay for a while. Where are you heading off to now?
I was just bullshitting. I just said that so we could get so I could act like I was in a hurry.
Okay, well, that's the tape. Cut it there. Get out of here. All right, so check it out. That's, I don't know what we're going to call this segment. Right now, it's the John Clay and Richard segment. But, you know, if you have any questions or comments along the way, or if you've got an idea on a certain car or one to sell or whatever, hit us up in the comments below, and we'll see what's going on. And see you next
So
time.
I come over here almost every single Wednesday.
Pretty much.
So we're gonna start doing this like.
Why not?
All right.
The
Sure.
cooler magically never runs out of beer.
All right.
Sometimes I look in there and there's like 2 beers left, and the next time I open it, it's completely full.
I told my wife, you know, and this is gonna sound shady, but I used to go to Rivercrest Country Club all my life in the 19th hole, but all my buddies are up there.
Yeah.
On Wednesday afternoons after the auction. And I was telling her, I was like, I hadn't seen any of my old friends in a long time. I need to go up to Rivercrest. I was like, why don't I go up there anymore? Because you go to Richard's every single Wednesday and drink your beer up there instead of over at the deal. Like,
Well, maybe one day we'll go to Rivercrest and hang
and we
out.
could do this here at Bushwood.
Right.
It is Bushwood. That's fun. All right.
Kick ass.
I'm not much of a golfer.
So remember, GasMonkeyBuys.com. I'm going to try to get into the John Clay business and buy some cars from you guys and gals out there. I certainly still always want your classics and old cool stuff. So keep us in mind. And then the big news is Gas Monkey Ice House coming to Dallas in about 30 days. So get you some of that. Watch the site.